Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, greetings from Tokyo. This is Cat the Cat. Now as you can see, Tokyo is supposed to be the host city of the 2020 Olympics now in 2021. But there's a problem. In fact, there are many problems, so many problems that currently 70 to 80% of Japanese people do not support the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. Why? In the years leading up to this year, we had several issues coming up. Venue issues, we had issues about the heat that might be happening during that time. We had issues with the committee doing some kind of sexist statements and then the committee having to change. There's been issue after issue after issue. But this year, there is something even more burning at hand. The hashtag nurses against being dispatched for the Olympics is currently trending on Twitter. Why? Currently, Japan is getting criticized for having a very, very slow rollout of the vaccines. At the time we're filming this, less than 2% of the population have been fully vaccinated and even less have got their first shot. So, at this point in time, it seems to be mainly medical staff that had the chance to get their vaccinations, but some of them are not fully vaccinated yet, and we're actually one of the slowest in the advanced countries, apparently. And why is Japan so slow? The main reason is manpower. There is a lack of doctors and nurses who can administer the shots, and right now in Japan, only doctors and nurses are allowed to give the vaccine shots. And not to mention, we're already so short-staffed in hospitals and similar that we're currently in another state of emergency. In Osaka, for example, the healthcare system is currently so strained that they have to close certain hospital wards and then only open them for corona patients. They also have to now start prioritizing people, and sometimes even the over 80s have to now get turned away. There's a really, really dire situation happening, and again, there's not enough staff. So there's not enough beds, there's not enough hospitals who actually care for corona patients, and there are definitely not enough doctors and nurses, and they are working really hard shifts, very tough hours, and some are even quitting. So we have less people to help out in the hospitals and even less people to give out those vaccines. In the midst of this, 500 nurses were requested to come and help specifically for the Olympics, and that spiked the big conversation on Twitter, and nurses were holding up signs saying, "We're not pawns." Now, why do the Olympics Games need 500 nurses? To the athletes who are coming for the Olympics, an updated playbook has been given out, and that playbook has several rules. One of them is you have to test twice before coming, and you obviously have to test negative. And once you're here, you do not have to quarantine. So you can start training straight away, but you're not allowed in public areas. You're not allowed to eat out not designated locations. So you have to stay in the designated location, and you have to do daily checks. So daily corona tests. Now, a lot of foreigners are asking, how are they going to control that? And what if we get mistaken for an athlete? One of the most common questions that you guys are asking is, can I come to the Olympics? And currently it's planned to not have foreign spectators. But Japanese spectators are currently in discussion. But we don't know yet if the venues are going to be filled 100%, 50%, 30-ish%, or whether they're going to be held without any spectators at all. There are certain areas where athletes were supposed to come into Japan, for example, the Brazilian surfing team, but the area where they wanted to live and also have their checkups had to actually, unfortunately, turn them down because they said, we don't have the capacity and we don't have the medical staff to help you guys with this. Clear is by the time the Olympics are happening, the 65 years and older are not all fully vaccinated yet. We're planning to have that done by July, maybe by August. So some of you guys already have your first or your second shots of the vaccines, and if you have them, Japan is currently thinking of a vaccine passport that allows especially businessmen to maybe come into Japan. But don't forget, you might have the vaccine already, but many people in Japan probably won't yet. So please don't rush coming to Japan. So do you understand now why the nurses are getting a little bit upset about getting dispatched? Because 500 nurses right now in the time of crisis can do a lot of good. So what do you think? Should the Olympics be held this year? What should Japan do? Let us know in the comments down below. Looking forward to finding out what you're thinking about it. I used to think, yes, once we win against the virus, everyone coming together Olympics, great idea. But this year, I'm joining the 70-80% who says, maybe not a good idea this year. But hey, what's your opinion on it? Let us know in the comments down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like for a little bit of a serious video from time to time. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you soon with more stuff from Tokyo.
あらかわいい。あらかわいい。かわいいね。かわいいね。